Hello and welcome to a new week of meals. I've got 3 to share with you this time around. They are easy and delicious. I'm starting off with cheater enchiladas that I got off of Jess and the Boys. Check out her channel for her recipe. But it's basically these 3 ingredients. You're going to take frozen taquitos. I'm using beef. I've got some enchilada sauce and some cheese. You can add anything else that you like if you want to add more ingredients, but I'm just layering some enchilada sauce down at the bottom of my baking dish. This is just to make sure the taquitos get nice and coated and it's not too dry at the bottom. So I'm putting down a layer of taquitos. I'm going to try to fill this dish up as much as possible and use up all of the taquitos. Trying to fill up the empty spaces. I am using all my might to break one of these frozen taquitos in half and just to fill in that little gap there. I'm going to put a little bit of enchilada sauce on top of the taquitos just to, get them wet, just to make sure that, again, they're covered and they're going to get cooked and saucy. I'm going to add a layer of cheese. My initial thought was to do this kind of like a lasagna, but it looks like I didn't have enough of the taquitos to do 2 full layers. So I'm just going to do a half of this as kind of a layered taquito enchilada lasagna thing. So just, again, you'll see this one half, I'm just adding taquitos to the second half, so that'll be like a double layer. I'm gonna cover that with a full layer of enchilada sauce and then make sure that everything gets fully covered in the sauce. When I saw this recipe on Jess and the Boys, I thought, this is brilliant. I have to do this. It's going to be so fast and it's going to taste so good. And I was not led astray. This was really, really good. So easy. I probably will never roll another enchilada again in my life. I'll probably also try this with some chicken taquitos. So I just got the taquitos from Aldi and they worked out really well. Overall, the dish was so delicious, and again, this was really, really easy. So I'm going over the final layer of cheese. I had the extra bag of sharp cheddar cheese in case we didn't have enough, but I ended up using the entire rest of the bag of the Mexican-style shredded cheese, and it was perfect. So once this is all layered and all the cheese is on top, I'm going to put this into the oven at 350 for about 20 to 30 minutes, and then I'm going to pull it out and kind of let it sit. I probably should have let it set a little bit longer. It was softer. It was a little too soft to cut into, but I just couldn't wait because it just looked so good, and I was very impatient. So you'll see here in just a second, I'm going to cut into it, but this is what the finished cheater enchiladas look like. Again, really, really easy if you just want to do that semi-homemade thing. It was really easy, no excuse to like not have a hot meal for your family. But again, really good. Roll them from scratch if you want to, but this was an excellent alternative. Here you go, you see me cutting into them. They're very, very soft. I probably, as I mentioned, should have let it sit a little bit longer just to firm up a little bit. It's very, very soft. And I thought they were really good. You might think maybe they're a little bit, if you think they're a little bit mushy, then you might want to not add as much sauce. And normally I don't like mushy enchiladas. But in this case, I have to say, this was really, really, really good. And I'm serving it here with just some sliced avocados and some sour cream. You can add olives, you can add lettuce and tomatoes, anything you like. If you want to make some guacamole, that would be great too. But this was our dinner for the first night and it was so good. Next up, I am doing a Crockpot meal. Again, another really easy one. I take on what my mom used to make in the stove, just a roast. So I'm adding some onions and I'm going to add some celery here. Again, not too many ingredients, and this is gonna be really easy. I'm gonna put my chuck roast right on top of these veggies, And then I'm going to season it with some onion soup mix, our friend onion soup mix, and then some cream of mushroom. And there is the full packet of the onion soup mix. Feel free to add a second one or part of one if you want it more seasoned and more French oniony flavored. I started out with one because I didn't want it to be too salty, and then I was going to taste it and add more if needed. I'm adding 1 can of cream of mushroom. You can also add a can of cream of celery if you'd like, just to bump up that celery that we put in on the bottom of the crock pot. I'm going to cover it, and then this will cook on low for 6 to 8 hours. And then after that time, this is what you get. There it is, just a brown old roast in the crock pot. I'm gonna shred this up in large chunks, and then that is ready to go. Feel free to give it a taste. As I mentioned, you can add more onion soup mix or, you know, more salt if you want to do that separately. But yeah, really, really easy and so delicious. Just, you know, what can I say? A really easy crock pot dish. And there you go, served over some cauliflower rice with a side of broccoli, and that was the next meal of the week. Last up, we have breakfast for dinner. I got these hot links from Costco. I'm just gonna serve this with some French toast. Serve it with whatever you like, pancakes, waffles. I'm just taking some eggs, some cinnamon, and some heavy cream. Going to whip that up here or beat it up together. And then that is going to be the custard I'm gonna dip the bread in. I'm using keto bread from Aldi because that's what I happen to have on hand. So I'm gonna do that in just a second. I'm gonna fry that up in the hot cast iron skillet. Got some butter that I'm melting in the skillet here, and then I'm gonna put the French toast in and just cook that up as you normally would. If you like your French toast a little bit on the more soft or more moist side, I guess you could say. I know a lot of people don't like that word, but anyway, it is what it is. Feel free to soak your bread a little bit longer. I don't like mine that way. I like it a little bit on the drier side, so with the egg mostly on the outside. But just flip it over, and then here you go. I'm just gonna stack them up, serve it. Here is the hot links that I cooked in the air fryer, 350 for 15 minutes. These are already fully cooked, so I really just needed to warm it up. Big dollop of butter on top of that, and then we're gonna go in with some syrup. I'm using Lecanto maple flavored syrup. This is sweetened with monk fruit. You can use whatever you like, and you can put as much or as little as you like. I start out with a little bit because I don't like it too sweet. So, and then I'm gonna top it with a little bit of something special. I have some roughly chopped macadamia nuts. You could add, berries, strawberries would be good, some whipped cream, you could do pecans, anything you like. You can serve it with a side of eggs, bacon. But this was our last dinner that I'm sharing with you for the week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in the next video. Take care until then.